And see, this is that interesting phase of the healing journey that some people go through when their healing becomes revenge work. Wake it up, Jerrod! Wake it up!
Get up!
I knew it! If your granddaddy, your great-granddaddy, or your daddy ain't had no outside kids, this is not for you. You won't understand!
My father, he has another family with a woman named Renita. He had 4 kids by her and kind of lived a double life.
Baby, I kept telling y'all, I said, I'm trusting the process. I'm trusting the process because I'm a Jerrod Carmichael fan. And one thing you got to know about him, if you've seen the Carmichael show, you've seen any of his specials, you know how the Rail show is set up, you know that they always gonna touch on those deep issues within the community, specifically the Black community, that nobody ever really wants to talk about. So I knew that eventually Jerrod Carmichael was going Jerrod Carmichael. He was gonna touch on those issues. He was gonna scratch those wounds that don't nobody want to talk about, don't nobody want to address. I knew it was coming in, baby. It came. Y'all, Jerrod done took us on a long road, a long, winding, deep, steep, hilly, pothole-filled road to get here, to get to the deep root of the issue. This is the work. Baby, episode 4 is all about Jerrod Carmichael addressing his daddy for having outside kids. And he's really exploring those deep wounds of trauma that are centered around your father having a whole nother family up yonder. And if you grew up in a family with a father, a grandfather, a great-grandfather who had children up yonder, children by somebody else, a whole nother family somewhere else, you know and understand the deep wounds that triggers, right? So essentially, Jerrod is asking his father, why? Why? What did that family do for you that our family couldn't do for you? How was they fulfilling you in a way that we couldn't fulfill you? Why did you do this?
Would you say you loved her, or was it just like sexual, or was it? Because it was a long time. That's like 40 years of a relationship. Was it hard every time? Did you feel like a bad person? Did you feel like you were 2 different people?
Why are you digging into that so deep, son? Why are you doing this?
What's like?
I mean, that's then. This is now.
It's not then. Stop saying it's then. It's also now. It's.
I thought this truly was gonna be about you and I and bonding. Let's stop talking about my past and move on forward.
Okay, I would like to meet my brothers in the future. I'm talking about for it. I'd like to meet them.
Right. And see, that's what Jerrod is really waking up. What he's really waking up is those boundaries, right? Because see, a lot of times when people go on a healing journey, they only focus on their own personal boundaries. But Jerrod's father was asking a valid question, which is like, what about my boundaries?
You got hostility against me. I got feelings too. The way that you don't want to be hurt, I don't want to be hurt. Is this going to be on your special?
Maybe, probably, yeah, I don't know.
This has to be discussed on cameras.
I mean, but it's already public. It's public. It's public. You made it public. You had...
No, I didn't make it public.
You had children outside of your marriage is the most public thing you could do. Like that, I want to make clear. I'm not making it public. You made it public.
No, and you made it public good.
No, well, don't. Now that's childish. That's tit for tat. You made it public.
I knew this was coming.
I don't even want to get into an argument about it. I'm saying you're being very defensive. You're being very defensive over, and I know...
You're not even considering if it bothers me or hurt me or whatever. You hear it on the way you want Jerrod to hear.
And see, the interesting thing about this interaction is that Jerrod's father is like, what about my boundaries, though? Respect my boundaries. And Jerrod is like, Nick, boy, what? Your boundaries? What about my boundaries when I was a child? What about when I needed when I was a child? And his father is like, but what about me? You know, so I think that's the difficult part that a lot of people don't really understand.
How do you think it made me feel to be at a high school with my brother and other people knew he was related to me and I didn't know? How do you think that bothered me?
Then you could have came to me.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was supposed to come to you and say, Dad,
you coming to me now?
Yeah. Yeah, because you wouldn't, because you would never. So don't criticize how I come if you weren't going to say anything. You weren't going to do shit. I actually am doing something. Your option is no option. So don't criticize the way I do it. If the cameras help me, then they fucking help. But your way is nothing. Your way is silence. Your way is death. I'm not doing that. I'm being a man. I'm stepping up. I'm actually saying the things. These are your children and your grandchildren. These aren't my kids. I didn't fuck nobody. I didn't have no kids outside of my marriage. I didn't do that. You did that. And you're ashamed of it. I get it. And it's hard. It's really, really hard. I had things I'm ashamed of too. But don't come at me with that shit. And yes, I bring in cameras. And yes, that's my way. And yes, I'm afraid to have these conversations without them. Yes, because I don't think you want to have these conversations. I know you don't. You have the iron fist and all these things. And so however I do it, I'm doing it. But you weren't going to do it.
And Jerrod was intentionally pushing his boundaries. And I find it interesting that a lot of folks are only focusing on the part where Jerrod was pushing the religious boundaries of his family. But it's a reason he was pushing those religious boundaries. It's because his own boundaries in childhood wasn't respected. And that's what he's trying to show his father. He's trying to show his dad that when I was a child, you didn't respect my safety in school because you had siblings that I didn't even know was my siblings going to school with me. You was embarrassing me. You didn't respect my safety, my wellness in school. So why should I respect your boundaries now that I'm an adult? I was a child and you was an adult and you didn't respect my boundaries, but you want me to respect your boundaries now? And that's why he's pushing his father the way he is. And see, a lot of people are saying Jerrod is wrong for doing this to his daddy.
You want to meet my boyfriend?
You feel like I don't want to meet him because you feel like...
Well, I'm asking, would you?
Yeah, I will meet him. I'm not going to say I would.
Well, do you want to?
I'll meet him. Why you get quiet when I say I meet him?
Oh, I mean, you know, I don't think you really... I don't know if you have like a real... I think you would do it. I don't think you necessarily want to. I mean, that's nice, you know. You want to see a picture of him?
You got one on?
That's him out the shower the other day.
Baby, this phase of Jerrod Carmichael, this Jerrod Carmichael reality show is the revenge tour. This is the revenge tour for the rejection. This is the revenge tour for the heartache. This is the revenge tour for the embarrassment that his family has put him through. And see, this is that interesting phase of the healing journey that some people go through when their healing becomes revenge work. And honestly, after episode 4, I'm here for it, Jerrod. I'm here for it, Jerrod. Send your daddy home. Tell him to go home and eat this revenge.
I knew it. You set him out for us, son. You can express yourself. You can say what you wanted to say. You can do what you want to do. Can I go home?